give them a chance to farm. Today was kind of a busy day. Didn't have much time to record because we were trying to beat the weather. And with that, I mean, this morning it was wind chill in the teens, and I had that big mulch mountain, and I wanted to make sure I could get as much of that to the back as I could before the sun come out and heated up things. You can kind of tell just that real little bit at the top layer is sticky right now with mud. So it's that time. So it got up to, I think, somewhere about 30s. I think my truck was reading about 39 when the girls got out of school. So we had a pretty busy but productive day doing that. I ended up getting 4 loads of the mulch back to the back yesterday, and we got 7 of them back there today. I got 6 of them before lunchtime. We took a break to get lunch, and when we come back out, the sun had come out from behind the clouds enough that we got 1 after lunch, and then that was all we could do because I could start to see the treads from the tractor tires. So no sense in tearing things up any more than I had to. Made a pretty good dent in the pile, and then it was cold enough this morning. It froze the hose going to the automatic water, so I had to take that off. I got it running now to fill the cattle trough up, which, I mean, we were still half a tank, and we were up above the heating element in the tank still too, so we're good there. They got a new round bell out last night, and with the cold overnight, they put a hurting on that round bell already. But I know this last group of bales, they weren't quite as big and not wrapped as tight as normal ones that we've been getting from him were. So these bales are lasting us right on the cusp of about 3 days apiece. With the cold snap, I don't know if this one will last us 3 days or not. So, but in the time of going back and forth, transporting mulch, we were able to catch a couple times of the fall calves, kind of testing each other with their head to head and kind of showing dominance, playing around a little bit. So that was kind of fun to watch, and actually seeing the sun today versus just gray skies of clouds, which is what's been for the last 3 or 4 days around here. So actually seeing the sun come out was pretty nice today. But it was overall a productive day. We did get something accomplished. So we got the goat stall cleaned. We pick it most of the time, but we actually did a little bit more thorough cleaning today instead of just picking it. So that way we got it done and got it out to the chicken run. And then Brittney also, while I was moving mulch, Brittney was mulching some of her and the girls' containers by the garden, and then mulching the walkway at the edge of the garden, pulling some leaves, and she finished pulling the last few tomato plants that were still left over in the cage.
There was like 6.
Yeah, so we ended up we threw those in the wagon and hauled them to the back in the mulch and put them back there. So and then tonight we got a phone call from the processor with all this virus stuff going on and processing plants shutting down. We were calling around last year trying to find a place to process off some of our steers. So I made the appointment, and it was supposed to have been for January 21st. Well, today I get a phone call, and the lady asked me to call her back to confirm the appointment, stating it was the 20th. And I had to have the calf there by 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, whoa, that's not going to work. With my work schedule, I don't even get back home until close to 8 o'clock in the morning on that morning. So there's no way I could drive an hour and 15 minutes north of me with that cow and have it there on time. So luckily, with talking with them, they realized that back when I made the appointment, they were actually processing on Thursdays, which would have been the 21st that they made the appointment for. But they since have switched their processing day to Wednesday. So they're going to work with me on the time, and I'll just get it there as soon as I can that day. So that'll help us out. Because otherwise, I mean, that would have been an appointment I wouldn't have been able to keep, and, you know.
Not due to our fault.
Yeah,
right?
and it really wasn't my fault because I made the appointment for that day. I can't help that after they made the appointment, they changed their processing day. But, you know, a lot of places nowadays are charging take a credit card information, and then if you cancel the appointment, they'll charge it. So, like the place that we took the goat for processing, if someone canceled the appointment there, that's $50 is what they charged. So, I mean, that's, $50 for something that wouldn't have been my fault. I wouldn't have been that happy about. But like I said, they are working with me, and are going to make special arrangements for me to bring the calf as soon as I can that day. So we've got that going for us. So that's one steer that's going to be leaving, and actually it's sold. It's going to be getting split
2 ways.
into two people are buying it as they're buying the full animal, and then they're going to process it out. Each of them's going to take half of it from the processor. So all I have to do is, in the agreement, is I sold the animal, and I'm going, with the sale of the animal, includes transport to the processor. And I made the appointment for the processor. That way, once I get it to the processor, I'm out of the picture. It's up to them to make their cut instructions to the processor, and then they can go pick it up. All I had to do is deliver it to the processor. So, and that's kind of marks a first for us, because this is actually the first cow that we've been able to sell, or steer that we've sold for beef, technically. But, other than that, in the past, all of our steers have been into our own freezer. But now we're getting to the point where we've got a couple of them a year. So we'll be able to, and actually, because of the way this worked out, the one that's going next week should have went last year, but we didn't have a chance to get him in. So, because the way we had it set up is we really had 2 a year for 3 years in a row. And now we've got 3 going out this year, and then we'll have 2 next year. And so far we've got another one going the following year so far, I think, if I remember right off my calculations. But we've got
There's 4 more
there's
steers out there. We had a bull calf this year, and then we got 2 bred cows that are
be dropping like March, April time, the end of March, 1st of April usually.
And if it goes like the rest of the time, they've dropped bull calves. So
right.
Except for one of them.
We got lucky this go around, and we're hoping this go around when it comes to spring calves that maybe Chocolate surprise us and toss out another heifer calf, because she hasn't tossed out a heifer calf since Michaela's first show calf of Cheyenne.
Yeah.
But it's hit or miss. It's a necessary evil for us, because I like the heifer calves, because that means they have a chance to stick around to an extent because we've only got so much land. So you got to watch that as well. And the girls get really attached to the heifers, so especially Michaela, and if Chocolate spits out another. But I understand with Cheyenne, that was her first show calf, and they still to this day have a real special bond. Anytime that we're out in the pasture and the girls are with us, she comes running. She wants to see who it is, and they interact to this day.
She knows her
She
smell.
knows exactly.
She knows her voice.
Because if Taylor's with us, even though a lot of times people ask us if the girls are twins, which they're not, and she'll come running thinking it's Michaela until she gets up there, and as soon as Taylor talks,
or
she backs up and is done. Or if she can smell her. But then if it's Michaela, she'll be there, and they're buddies. I mean, we've got pictures of them from when she was showing her that, she'd be walking her for her practice in the practice ring, and then she would just be done for the day, so she'd lay down, and then Michaela would just lay there and kind of hug on her, and she wouldn't really move and do much until someone touched her or something like that. Then she'd stand back up. But other than that, she'd just lay there and let Michaela love all over her. So, but we still got water. No, yep, a little over 3/4 of the tank now, so we still got more. But it's been an interesting day, and we got a lot done in a short window while the girls were at school today. So, and then once school was over, we had orthodontist appointment and trying to get there and back in time. So, but hope everybody enjoys the videos. We'll get back after another calf video with the halters. I'll record another one of those tomorrow. So that'll be our next video after this one. So with the busy day and trying to beat the sun coming out today, I give them a break today. So I'll get back on them tomorrow.
That may hurt us. We may have to start from square one.
Well, but the downfall is I got to start giving them a break every so often, because when I go back to work, I'm going to be able to work them for 2 days, and then I'll have to give them a break anyway. So
I'll
try to rotate that into my schedule.
Until you get them pretty trained, and then I'll be working.
Yeah. So, but we're getting there with one of the two I feel a little more comfortable with. The other one is just going to take a little bit longer to handle, but we'll get there. It all takes time. So we're making progress each day. That's all I care about. So, and I mean, our fair isn't until mid-July. So I think I'm trying to think. This year it's after the 15th, I think, of July this year. So we got plenty of time to get everything accomplished by then. So because my plans are to get the 2 that I've already started going, and then the 2 fall calves, I plan on trying to get them in here at some point and get them started and then be ready as well. That way the girls have the option to take 2 apiece if that's what they want. And actually, even though the fair is not till latter part of July, I really have until like March to get them to where we can handle them and trailer them, because even though our cattle are registered, as far as 4-H is concerned here in Indiana, they don't recognize our American Aberdeen cattle. So we have to show in the commercial class. So with that means we have to weigh them in March with the commercial guys. So when it does come show time, it actually is kind of funny, because our steers are usually ballpark about, I think the last couple of years we've been in the ballpark of about 535 pounds. And going in there against steers that are between about 900 and 1,200 pounds at the same age range. But we've been able to get recognition from the judges. So they actually, the last judge we had there actually understood what an American Aberdeen was and knew it as soon as he seen it coming in the ring. So that helped us. He actually judged the animal for what the animal was instead of the year previous. The guy didn't have a clue what American Aberdeen was, never heard of it, never even heard of low lines, which is what they were previously called, and basically told us that I can't judge an animal that I can put inside the other ones, and walked right past us. So the girls weren't too excited about that, but it happens. So, but hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on social media with all your family and friends, and try to stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.